We're used to swiping our credit and debit cards at the register, but in October, that process is going to change. It's possible you're already seeing that as you receive new cards that feature a small chip. Today, we're learning about what that upgrade really means. Joining us from San Francisco, Stephanie Erickson. She's with Visa. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning, Mary.
These new cards are arriving in the mail. What are the changes and what do they mean?
Well, exactly as you mentioned, many people already have chip cards in their wallets today. But as we move forward, more and more chip cards are going to be issued. About 63% of the cards in the U.S. will be reissued as chip by the end of this year. And what that means is the chip card is actually being used to create a unique one-time code that changes with each transaction. And the benefit of that is if chip data is stolen by a criminal from a merchant data breach, for example, or hacking into a merchant's computer system, that data cannot be used to create counterfeit cards or do counterfeit fraud, which is roughly 2/3 of the fraud we're seeing in stores today.
You fully expect chip technology to enhance payment security?
Exactly. Chip technology has been widely used around the world to combat counterfeit fraud, and what we see is typically around 2 to 3 years after a country begins to move to chip technology, the counterfeit fraud goes down by 60% or more.
If we currently have cards without chips, how long will those continue to work then?
The cards that people have in their wallets today, if they don't already have a chip on them, will continue to work. So whether or not you have a new chip card and you're beginning to use it more as to do chip transactions, or whether or not you're still swiping the mag stripe on your old card, consumers are always protected with zero fraud liability. But we will see more chip cards in market, as well as more merchant locations being able to read that chip as we move forward.
How will the new cards change our experience at the register, if at all?
Yeah, the consumer experience at the checkout will be a little bit different than it is today. Rather than swiping the mag stripe on your card, you'll insert the chip end of your card into the terminal, kind of like putting your card in an ATM or automated fuel pump today. And then that one-time code is being generated as the terminal reads the data from that chip. And then the rest of the payment continues just like you do today.
So what should we do with our old cards once we get the new ones?
When you get a new card in the mail that's replacing one of the cards you have in your wallet, just like you do today, you can shred that old card or cut it up and then use the new card to move forward and just do payments like you already do.
This is such an undertaking. How long has all of this been in the works?
Well, many countries around the world have been using chip technology for over 10 or 15 years. The U.S., we've seen issuers starting to issue chip cards already since about 2010, and we expect to be at around 90% of transactions conducted in the U.S. as chip technology, probably about 3 or 4 years from now. So it's a gradual process and certainly something that we're seeing a lot more activity on right now and heading into this holiday shopping period this year.
I imagine many people watching now will have questions. A website with more information?
Yes, if your viewers have more questions about chip technology and how it works, they can always go to visachip.com. There's some great instructional videos on how to do a chip transaction, as well as just additional information about the security that chip technology brings.
Thanks for joining us today, Stephanie. We appreciate your time.
Great. Thanks a lot for having us.